What's good, Commanders fans? Don't have a lot of time. I'm out and about as it is Saturday, so that is family time for sure. Family time and date time for sure. Emmanuel Forbes has been released, man. Former first-round pick. Another Ron Rivera pick has been released. It has gotten the axe. Jamin Davis released, didn't get a pick in return. Emmanuel Forbes released, didn't get a pick in return. Jahan Dotson, at least you did get something for him. You got the third-round pick and a couple sevenths, so you did get something in return for Jahan at least. But Emmanuel Forbes, the guy that Ron fell in love with. Ron, I remember the episode that came out, like the Commanders episodes where they did the documentary and stuff behind the scenes, where Ron was riding around in the car. He was just so excited to draft Emmanuel Forbes. He wasn't allowed to say his name at the time before the draft, but he was like, we're going to get a guy who's going to be a ball hawk and whatnot. Took him over Christian Gonzalez, who's been a solid corner. A couple guys that you could have taken instead of getting Emmanuel Forbes, who definitely was overdrafted and was a ball hawk coming out of college, but just hasn't lived up to that. And I think they were really fed up with Emmanuel Forbes, honestly. Like, they gave up on him after the Tampa Bay game. That first game of the season where he got the double penalty, which I haven't seen anything like that before, a double penalty where you get a face mask and a pass interference on the same play. And then they put him on injury reserve, where they sat him out after that game when they really wanted to bench him. But he did get that interception against the Panthers against Andy Dalton. He did get that. I thought that it would at least drive up his trade value a little bit, but that just wasn't enough to get his trade value up. And I do wish Emmanuel Forbes the best, though. I do wish him the best because I think, maybe he could go somewhere and be a rotational corner, but for him to be your number one corner or a lockdown corner in any means, he's just not that. Doesn't take the ball away enough, does get big boy, does get bullied, struggles to tackle and whatnot, just not physical enough. Just he's just small, man. He's frail. And I remember the picture that he took with a teenager or something like that, and they look 2 times bigger than him. And his legs look like people were doing the meme where they put the SpongeBob legs on Emmanuel Forbes' legs when he took the picture at his football camp and stuff like that over the summertime. So, and he had a lot of hype coming out. I remember mini camp, people were like, oh my gosh, he's the next big thing. He's the next big corner to come out. He was getting pick sixes in mini camp and training camp, stuff like that. But it just never panned out, man. And I do wish him the best, though. But, the A.J. Brown games from last year were rough. The D.J. Moore game from last year was rough. He just had a lot of rough, tough games where he was benched for, was it Greg Stroman? Or who did he get benched for? Danny Johnson at one point last year. Like, even Ron put him on the bench last year for Danny Johnson because he was just getting cooked so much in the games, and it's just rough. I mean, you look at the draft picks, the Ron Rivera draft. I talked about that. Even going to the previous regime, Montez Sweat's not here anymore. Chase Young is not here. Like, all the first-round picks have been gone. And Adam Peters is trying to change that, man. He's trying to change that. I remember the press conference, too, when they asked Adam Peters what he thought about the roster. He took a long 30-second pause, and then he tried to say something positive about the roster that he liked. So there's a lot of work that we got to do, man. A lot of work that we got to do with this roster, especially at the cornerback spot, man. And Ben St. Juste is probably next when the season ends. But if you look at the cap hit for Emmanuel Forbes, it's an $8 million cap hit. I think Nicky Javala tweeted it out, or Ben Standing, $8,503,440 cap hit for releasing him. And then 25, it's a $4 million cap hit releasing Emmanuel Forbes. And then he was beaten the preseason, too, by that Jets third-string receiver and the third-string quarterback. The Jets beat him on that play. So yeah, I mean, he's at a rough start to his career. Only his second season, man. The middle of his second season, he gets released. So that's hard for first-round picks. A lot of first-round picks don't get released in their second season. Usually the fifth-year option's not picked up. So it's kind of, you don't see them getting released a lot in that second season, for sure. So they tried to trade him for the deadline, but nobody wanted him. I think it would have been, you probably would have had to have attached a pick to Emmanuel Forbes, kind of like the John Ridgeway trade, where you add a 7th-round pick, and then you get a 6th-round pick in return for John Ridgeway, like Emmanuel Forbes. You could possibly, Adam Peters might have tried to do something like that. But yeah, that's it for the Emmanuel Forbes era, man. Like I said, I wish him the best. I think he's a nice guy. From all accounts, everybody says he's a nice guy. Signs autographs and stuff like that. Means well and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, I wish him nothing but the best. But when he came out 160 pounds, soaking wet out of Mississippi State, we kind of knew it was going to be an uphill battle. But I was optimistic because he was a ball hawk coming out of college, but it just didn't translate to the NFL. All right. Also, Austin Eckler is put on IR. So you gotta take a look at that. That's not a surprise with the concussion. It's a second concussion, so other guys got to step up. I wish him the best too. Zane Gonzalez elevated, and Carl Lawson elevated. So Austin Eckler will be out for the next 4 games, and other guys got to step up. B-Rob's got to stay healthy. Mid-Nichols and Chris Rodriguez, those guys got to step up, man. And we may have to sign another running back. I know Michael Wiley's on the practice squad, but I would sign another running back like Boston Scott. I would bring him in for sure. I would definitely bring in Boston Scott. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. And I remember I think it was Eric Stokes, and was like, I would take Forbes over Gonzalez. I would take Forbes over. That was in the documentary as well. But Adam Peters, he's got a lot of work to do with the defense, with the secondary for sure. So, but I know he's gonna work his magic, man. I know he's gonna work his magic for sure. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys tomorrow after the game against the Titans. As always, Hell's Commanders. Peace.